Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. We're going to uncover the surprising structure hidden inside something most of us just completely take for granted, a seemingly simple children's phonics song. We're basically going to strip away that catchy melody you probably have stuck in your head right now and look at the raw data to see exactly how early education constructs a foundational view of the world. You know these lines, right? We instantly recognize the source material. It's the standard, universal rhythm of early childhood learning. But today, we're actually going to look past that familiar rhyme and analyze the data set that these lyrics provide. Because when you pause and truly look at the words chosen for each letter, this highly curated architecture reveals itself. So instead of just reciting the alphabet together, we're going to map out this little world. We'll explore the dual word strategy at play, how the animal kingdom is classified, the everyday objects they use, the inclusion of nature and characters, and finally, what happens when we hit those tricky end-of-alphabet exceptions? Let's kick things off with the core phonetic strategy being used here, which is essentially doubling the data. See, unlike a standard alphabet that just gives you one word per letter, this song pairs exactly 2 words with every single letter. That creates a highly specific data set of exactly 52 words. It's not just a random assortment, it's a carefully selected lexicon that doubles the chances for phonetic recognition. It's literally shaping an early learner's foundational map of reality. And if we break down the contents of those 52 words, an incredible pattern emerges showing how the creators really focused on improving the images, contents, and characters associated with these letters for young mind. Notice the heavy reliance on tactile, everyday objects, making up 27 of the words. Animals follow up with 15, while nature and human characters play vital supporting roles. The specific distribution grounds the super abstract concept of letters into very tangible, relatable things. Now, what's truly fascinating is how some pairings go way beyond just phonetics to become highly thematic. Just look at the letter N. It pairs neck and nose. So it's grouping connected anatomical features together. It reinforces not just the letter, but the child's understanding of their own body. It's honestly a brilliant double layer of learning. Moving right along, let's take a look at the main cast of this world, the animal kingdom. Animals are just universally engaging for early learners, right? And from the tiny ant to the massive elephant, these 15 creatures serve as our primary active characters. By populating the dataset with a really diverse range of living beings, the song ensures that the phonetic concepts are tied to a dynamic energy that easily captures a young imagination. This brilliantly illustrates how the song groups its characters visually to improve those mental images. For the letter F, we don't just get 2 disconnected animals, we get a frog and a fish. This instantly transports the learner to a cohesive aquatic environment. It's not just teaching the F sound, it's quietly teaching environmental context. Since these characters share a habitat, the pairing is infinitely more memorable. Okay, so if the animals are the characters, we need to talk about the everyday objects, or basically the props. Making up more than half the vocabulary, this list focuses really heavily on domestic and playful items that a child can easily visualize or hold in their hands, things like a cup or an umbrella. To build better mental imagery for a toddler, the song anchors abstract linguistic concepts to objects they see in their immediate everyday environment. Remember that somatic pairing we saw earlier with the anatomy? Well, it returns right here with everyday objects. Notice how the pairing of tap and tub for the letter T creates this incredibly logical mini-narrative scene. It centers the learning right in the family bathroom. The child learns the sound of tea, sure, but also the association that water flows from the tap into the tub. You see the exact same thing with J. Juice and jar are perfectly paired. It teaches the child not just the letter J, but the relationship between a liquid content and its container. You keep the juice inside the jar. By grouping these objects logically like this, the song builds a cohesive, understandable world rather than just throwing a random list of phonetic sounds at the wall. Next up, let's explore the world builders of this dataset, nature and human characters. To round out the world and give it some scale, the song introduces a really fascinating, albeit tiny, cast of human characters. It beautifully blends everyday figures a child might know, like uncle and man, with fairy tale royalty like king and queen. It validates the child's immediate social circle while simultaneously sparking their imagination. And when it comes to nature, the pairings become incredibly evocative. We get this surprisingly poetic pairing for the letter O, linking the vast natural expanse of the ocean with the oar, which is the very human tool used to navigate it. It's just a wonderful juxtaposition of the natural world and human interaction. The letter S takes this natural world building a step further. It uses a compound word, sunflower, to show a direct biological relationship with the sun. The flower literally takes its name from the celestial body it relies on to grow. It's a subtle but brilliant way to introduce cause and effect in nature through a simple phonics lesson. We see this environmental link again with the letter W, connecting the natural resource of water to the human-made well used to retrieve it. Much like the tap and tub or the ocean and oar, these elements are deliberately selected to improve a child's understanding of how things function together in the real world. Finally, let's look at what happens when we reach the end of the alphabet, where things get a little tricky and the rules have to be broken. Up until now, the standard phonetic rule has been pretty strict. The letter dictates the starting sound of the word, like W for well. But when we hit the letter X, the phonetic focus suddenly shifts entirely to the sound at the end of the word. Because, well, let's be honest, common words that naturally start with X are incredibly rare for toddlers. I mean, using xylophone is basically cheating since it sounds like a Z, right? So the song ingeniously breaks its own rule. It pairs a box and a fox, cleverly emphasizing that X sound through a catchy rhyming visual. The dataset then perfectly concludes with the letter Z. And here, the song brings everything full circle. It takes one of our main animal characters, the zebra, and places it directly into a logical location, the zoo. It's a fitting finale that marries the character with its environment. When you lay out all 52 words like this, it really stops being just a nursery rhyme, doesn't it? It becomes a masterclass in information design for the developing brain. By carefully selecting and pairing these objects, animals, and natural elements to intentionally improve the images, contents, and characters, the creators aren't just teaching the alphabet, they are structuring reality. It leaves you wondering just how deeply these specific, vibrant pairings, heard over and over again, quietly influence the way we all first learned to categorize our world. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope you never hear A for Apple the exact same way again.